Good morning, Alexa. Welcome to the Mother Freedom Show.
Good morning, Emily. I'm so happy to be here again. It's nice to see you.
So, we're here today because you're a cloth diaper pro. What inspired you to use cloth diapers with your babes?
I've just never liked disposables, the idea of how much money you spend on them, how like flimsy they are. They've certainly gotten better in terms of like they seem more sturdy, but what's making them more sturdy is a lot of like synthetic chemicals and like water absorbing, well, yeah, urine absorbing beads. The things that make them so attractive, like, oh, this can go straight into the landfill, and oh, they don't smell because they're using fragrance, and I can change them way less with this diaper because it goes longer. Like those things that make it attractive to some people was kind of like the opposite to me because I know exactly how harmful all of those things are. So yeah, I didn't want to put that stuff on my little baby because there's a lot of hormone disruptors and endocrine disruptors in there. And I also just try to be more sustainable as well. We're a pretty sustainable family. Cloth just didn't seem that hard. Right before I had my kids, like not long before, I had nannied two twins who they're just a couple months old, and they cloth diapered. And I'm like, if they could do twins and everything, and there's a lot of different types of cloth diapers, and they had, one of the ones that took like a little bit longer, and so I was like, I could do this. It's not hard. I cloth diapered my two under two, not twins, but like Irish twins. So yeah, and I pride myself on kind of just doing it the easiest, laziest way. Like it doesn't have to be complicated. And I think the two things that freak people out, like most, are just the washing and like the poop. And it's not as complicated, I think, as people want to assume it is. Like the washing, I'm like, if you can wash your clothes, like you can wash it, like it's the same. It's totally basically the same thing. Some people wash their diapers with their clothes. And then the poop is kind of funny because I guess people don't know that you're not supposed to put human feces in a landfill. And so even with disposable diapers, you're not really supposed to like keep poop in the diaper and throw it away either. Um, so I'm like, well, this is exactly what you should be doing it. Like, I'm like, it's a non-excuse. Like, it did take a lot of research. I felt like a lot of like diving in to figure out what kinds, and because I didn't realize there were so many different kinds. After doing all that research and kind of going through the journey with my kids, just creating my own course for parents that they can take and just do an hour and a half. They don't have to do the whole research, and they can just come out of it knowing like, this is the kind I want to do. This is how I wash them. Easy peasy, like that kind of a thing. So that is how my passion has grown and evolved for cloth diapering.
For my journey, I mean, I have so many questions on the different kinds of cloth diapering because I'm just getting into it. I mean, my baby Bjorn he's 7 months old now, but we started with elimination communication.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, that doesn't mean being, letting my baby pee and poo everywhere. But well,
I guess there's probably a lot of things people don't know about
yeah.
EC too. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's been a journey, and there were phases where I was catching pees and poos, and then, as you know, he was hospitalized for about a week and a half, and the nurses put disposable diapers on him because they had a way and keep track of his pee on a scale and made sure he was getting enough fluids. And so we were using that, and then when I was able to kind of let his butt air out, I would. But it kind of threw us off when we returned home in
Mm-hmm.
terms of me catching, and to be honest, I haven't really caught any
Mm-hmm.
since we've returned. And so I was like, I think I really need to just get cloth diapers. And so I found a great deal on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
So for those first time moms or a mom who wants to get into it, a Facebook Marketplace is a great place because moms are always reselling they're used, even brand new. So when my mom was in LA and about to come visit, because it's a big city, of course there's going to be more people selling it. So I was just searching cloth diapers, found a great deal, brand new cloth diapers. I mean, we're set for the rest of, because they're like one size fits all, for like $100.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. And so my mom flew with all of these like inserts and stuff, and now I don't know how they work. And so, yeah. And another thing is why it is being great right now, because the weather is cold. Before, I was not using a cover. And so he would pee and I would know because it would go through his pants. And now that it's wet, now that it's cold outside, his pants would get wet and I would just not want to change his pants as well, especially if we're out in the snow. So this is another great way, reason for me why I'm starting to use cloth diapering and stuff. And it's been great. So let's get into the different ones. Yeah. I have a lot of questions on each. Okay. One of them is like this, and there's already an insert like in it. I can't take it out. What would you call that?
Yeah. So that's going to be an all-in-one diaper.
Okay.
Very aptly named. Everything is there. It's got the waterproof outer shell, the inserts, everything. That in style is most similar to like a disposable diaper. You put the whole thing on, you snap it together. It's like pretty self-explanatory in that way. And then when it is soiled, you have to take the entire thing off and put that in the wet bag, and wash that. Sometimes people like that for if they have different like caregivers, like nannies or grandparents or whatever, who are freaked out by cloth diapers. Sometimes they even have like just an all-in-one stash for like that day of like, oh, maybe the grandma watches the baby on Wednesdays or something. And like grandparents are like, oh, okay. Like they're very much like, okay, this is the same as this disposable diaper. It's almost, sometimes people do that, but if like the grandparents are a little, the caregivers are a little adverse to like learning something new. But yeah, so that's an all-in-one diaper.
So all-in-one diaper.
The pros and cons with that is like they're going to be the most expensive, and you have to wash the entire thing every time. So you're going to have to buy more of them as well, if that makes sense. So a little bit more money, a little bit more laundry. Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. Okay, the next one. This one is like, what? Like, why? So it's attached. Am I supposed to fold it? Like, okay.
Yeah, it's still an all-in-one. And sometimes I think they do that just so you can fold a bit differently if you wanted. Sometimes if you have a boy, you can like fold it even one more time and really keep it like in the front type of a thing. I don't find that you really need any sort of different folding techniques for male versus female type of thing. Some people do, like if you YouTube it, it's like, oh, fold for male baby, whatever, but it's all the same.
Okay, cool. Because I wasn't sure about this, and I actually don't really like it because maybe I'm not folding it properly, because we've had an incident where like the pee went to the side, so maybe I'm not doing it perfect. Okay, so we got that one. Okay, so now this is just the cover with an insert, a place to do that, and I'll show you the different inserts.
Okay.
Okay, so this is just a cover.
So that's mostly it's like an all-in-two diaper. It's the kind you would stuff. If it's got the pocket that in like that, it's called like stuffing, because the other type of all-in-two one is where it doesn't have like it's called a pocket diaper. It doesn't have a pocket. The other all-in-two type, you snap the inserts on top.
Oh, if that makes sense. I will bring that one out. Yeah, I have that one too. Okay, that's good to know. Okay, and so I have different inserts that this lady gave me. So there's this. Okay. And then there's a smaller one. And then there's this like thinner, maybe it's a different material. And then there's this one without like the creases in the middle. So like, why do I have so many?
The inserts are just, honestly, sometimes you'll see smaller ones for like smaller, just like starting from an infant size. And then, yeah, kind of the absorbency and the size is smaller, just so it fits a little bit better, because the diapers will be snapped down so much smaller, right? For the
Yes.
infant when you're using a one size
Yeah.
diaper. And then they'll have like a medium and a large. And then, yeah, those look like just different materials. So sometimes they're microfiber, sometimes they're hemp, cotton, hemp cotton mix. Let's see, bamboo. Those are usually the different types. Something to say with microfiber, sometimes they sell just a straight microfiber one. You never want microfiber to touch baby's bottom. That is a synthetic fabric. The other ones are natural fibers, but that is like a synthetic more fiber. So you can just use like a fleece liner. If it's stuffed, if it's one that you stuff, obviously you don't have to worry about it. Usually the lining on those, I mean, you can double check, but usually like lining on the pocket diapers is not going to be a microfiber. But if you were just setting it in a diaper, you can always use like a fleece liner or something on top just to like make sure, because microfiber, just, yeah, being the synthetic fabric that it is, it wicks moisture in like such a way that like it will also like do that to your skin. Like it's not the best to have against bare skin. And fleece liners, they sell them, but you can just like go to Joann's and like get fleece, like a couple yards of fleece fabric and just like cut to size, keeping in mind it'll probably shrink a little when you wash it. But yeah, so, and then the other ones just kind of absorb differently. Like, let's see, I think hemp is the one that usually like it absorbs a lot while being able to stay really thin, which is nice, but it doesn't always like absorb as quick, whereas cotton like absorbs really, really quick. So that's why sometimes they like pair them together or whatever, but just see what works. I mean, they all work. So
Okay, well, and so my question is, so we have so many of these. And so, okay, so this is what I've been doing. So first, I was just putting it right on top. And then I realized there was a thing and I said, okay, does it go in? But then if I were to insert it and he pees, do I pull this out? Or I've been washing the whole thing because this feels, it's not wet, but it is a little damp. So I don't reuse it. I don't get it. Or am I supposed to put another thing on top? What's,
yeah. So that's kind of another like pro con thing with the pocket ones. You do have to wash the whole thing because it is, the insert will be stuffed in there. And then that lining, yeah, the cover does get soiled as well. So it is kind of like the all-in-one thing where you have to take the whole thing off and wash it. Some people will unstuff it, like as they put it in the wet bag, they'll, take it out. You don't necessarily have to. It kind of depends on your washing machine and how well of like the agitation it works. A lot of times they'll just come out in the washing machine, or even if they stay in, you'll find they are clean. So I'd say like start with not unstuffing them because it's more work. And as long as they're coming out clean or coming out in the wash, like cool, you're good to go. If you're finding that like not only do they stay in there, but they don't, smell clean and stuff, then try unstuffing them when you put it in the wet bag and see if that helps. But yeah, and I mean, like it's not necessarily wrong to put them right on top. Like you can still use it in that way. Just make sure you've got like, I like the fleece. Sometimes they come on certain inserts. I don't know if you have any, but it's kind of like a stay dry, or I know companies always come up with like a little catchy name for it, but it just means it's got like a fleece layer on top. But that's always nice because it feels really dry for baby. So I always liked having that layer.
as Bjorn gets older and perhaps pees more, could I double line? Is that what? Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You can double line it inside, outside, like, or not like on the outside, but
Yeah.
on top, or stuff it in there. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is Nora's nursery. I do like this, and this actually does stay dry or feel dry at least. It's absorbing something, but I still just take off the whole thing anyways. This is another all-in-one, so it has this, and then it can clip and clip. What is this one called? Another all-in-one?
No, that's probably an all-in-two
Oh,
when
all
it's
in two.
just because it's two pieces.
Okay.
Yeah, but if that has that lining on the inside of the cover as well,
Yeah.
like you still have to wash the whole thing. So
Okay.
I don't know if you have any. I just wanted to focus on the ones you have, so I didn't bring down my whole stash
Yeah.
of like I've got like every single type so I could do. But yeah, they have those waterproof covers that don't have like that soft kind of lining. It's just a shell. Those have the snap-in inserts, kind of just like you showed that so has the little snaps there. And so the insert just sits there in there and snaps. And then when you change baby, you would unsnap that insert and plop it into the wet bag. Like I use, as long as it's just pee, usually if it's poop, I like to wash the whole thing. But yeah, it's like you kind of like use the cover to unsnap it too. Like you don't have to like put your bare hand in there. Like I know people are like, what? You just use your hand on this like peed on insert, which by the way, I mean, once you become a parent, you're like, whatever, yeah, I'll pee on my hands. Don't even notice
Yeah.
anymore. But anyways, and yeah, you'd put that, and then so if it's just pee and it was like not some sort of big mega pee or something, that in cover basically repels all that pee, and I would take one of the cloth wipes and just wipe it down, and then I would hang it. I had little hooks on the side of my changing table, and I would hang that up, and I'd use a different one, and then by the next change, like that one's already dry, so it's all clean and ready to go. So that's kind of a pro of that type of
Okay. Yeah, we might have to do a part two because I don't know where those are. But yeah, okay, that makes sense why she
part
has
two.
those.
I'll bring my stash and I
Yeah,
can
definitely. Okay, that's good to know because I was really wondering why there's like double, triple then of these than the covers.
Mhm.
So it's
Yeah,
probably
that's
for
exactly
those.
why. Yeah, so I think I had like 6 covers and 18 inserts, and of course it depends how often you want to wash. I washed every day, so I could spend less money just buying upfront costs with my diapers. If you wanted to wash every other day or every 2 days, you're gonna have to go up to 24,
Yeah.
diapers. And for nap time, do you have any of the ones that are um fitted diapers?
Okay, so I have these that I first got from Green Mountain Diapers for Bjorn. Are you talking about these? They're just, I mean, there's no cover on it though.
Sort of, okay,
These are
yeah, yeah.
fitted, cloth fitted
Yeah,
diapers. Yeah.
yeah, so that's a fitted, so you do need a cover with that, right? I think technically you can use them without, but I would suggest
So,
using them with a
okay,
cover.
so what were you saying about these? Because so I put these on when I'll use this without a cover when like he's in his yes space and I want to know immediately if he peed so I don't have to like try to feel. I just like know
Mhm.
right there. And when he's not wearing pants and he's like in front of the fire, that's when I
Yeah,
use it
yeah,
without a cover.
if you're just chilling at home,
Yeah.
and yeah. Yeah, and I like those are the entire thing. It is absorbent, right? And I liked those for nap time. Like once my babies liked to roll and sleep on their side, I found that sometimes they would curl, even though I had the cloth diaper fit really well. So it was like, snug on their legs, they would curl enough that like they would kind of pee through just the snap-in inserts, and like it would leak. And so I switched to those just for more absorbency, but also because I
Oh,
knew it wouldn't like leak out of the
that's a great
side.
suggestion.
Yeah, so nap
Okay.
times or bedtimes, I like the fitted ones. And they are more bulky, of course, and you do have to wash the whole thing, but that was kind of like my nap time diaper, not my everyday diaper. So I found I liked different ones for different things sometimes. Even in the beginning, before I went and bought the fitteds, I was like, had this theory of, oh, well, maybe those ones will be more absorbent and they wouldn't leak. And I wanted to kind of test it before I went out and bought more diapers. And so I just took my flour sack towel, like because I had one as a dishcloth. And if you've ever seen those, they're just basically a really big piece of like absorbent fabric.
Mm-hmm.
And those are like the OG type of like great grandma was using these, for cloth diapers with the safety pins. And those are just called flats. Like those are just the OGs. And I literally just used that with safety pins. And there's different fancy folds, right? But you can just fold it in a triangle, fold it in a triangle again. It's called the triangle fold. And like, it's super easy. And I use that with a cover. I had an insert in there as well because I was testing for nap time. So they pee a lot. And I was like, theory worked. Like, yes, it didn't leak out the side. Cool. Now I'm going to invest in these fitted ones because I didn't feel like doing it every time. And you don't have to use safety pins now. They make these little cool things called snappies.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain, but they're just like kind of little cloth teeth that just kind of boop, boop, and they're all attached.
Like even my mom coming to visit and experiencing a diaper-free EC baby and cloth diapering, she noticed that barely any rash. And
Rashes
so
are usually non-existent with cloth diapers. And also blowouts are like not really a thing with cloth diapers. So that was always really funny hearing people be like, and then they had a blowout in the car seat. And I'm just like, I just didn't even have to know about that whole life. I didn't like commiserate. I know people who it's just ironic, but they travel a lot and their baby like always poops on the flight. Like they get on the plane, their baby's like, cool, poop time. And they would have like blowouts on the plane. And she found to completely prevent blowouts, she would use a cloth diaper cover over her disposable diaper, which I'm like, just dive in, girl, you got it. But to each their own. But yeah, so I'm like, that's even more proof if like somebody is so committed to using disposables, but they don't want blowouts and they're going even so far as to use like a cloth diaper cover because like they work so much better.
Yeah. I actually did start with just these, like pre-folds, right? Or flats. Do you call these flats?
That would be a pre-fold.
Okay, because it's thicker, right?
It's like one step above a flat. It basically has usually more absorbency in the middle there.
Yeah. It does.
And it's like it's cut more like to size,
Yes. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so I actually bought 3 dozen of these when he was born. And as a newborn, we went through it in one day. That's 36.
Wow, yeah.
Peas and poos. And I can't imagine throwing away using 36 disposable diapers.
Yeah.
In one day. That's a lot of trash.
Oh yeah. And I don't remember the exact stat but I know Forbes did this whole, kind of look at like, is it actually more economical? And it was something like $7 for disposable and like maybe $1 for cloth. Like it definitely, makes a difference. You also never run out of cloth. Like there was never this thing. I would see people again be like, oh my gosh, like I went and reached in, I didn't even realize I was out of diapers and then we had to run to Target and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, don't know what that's like.
If a mom were to start getting into cloth diapering, in terms of amount, what should she start with? Let's say she has a newborn, or I don't know.
Usually around 24 is a nice safe number. So if you're doing 24, it would be 24 all-in-ones or 24 inserts, and you can have a bit less covers if you're doing like that kind of a thing. But I'd say, those are good. It's also nice too, because if you have the means, again, a lot of places donate these, or like your local Buy Nothing group or just mom groups or whatever. You can just ask around if anyone has any diapers to donate. Churches a lot of times too buy them used. Even some companies online will have their little used section. But if you have the means to buy them new and you're worried about not having enough, kind of just like buy a little more than you need. And if you realize you don't actually need that many, or you needed them when they were newborn and now they're not, you don't have to change them as often, the resale value really is so high. So I wouldn't like necessarily worry too much about that.
And so for a mom who just wants to buy brand new, no budget, just wants to invest for her baby, what brands do you recommend that you really like?
The website Nikki's Diapers, they have a lot of different brands on there. They have the like only nighttime diaper I recommend. It's this brand called Pooters. It's like this super bulky hemp thing with like 2 inserts, and like it's huge, but it works. When you get to that point where you don't have to change baby at night, you know, when they're not pooping anymore during the night, Pooters diapers, like that's the only. I'll have to like give you my affiliate link, because please everybody run and buy from it.
Awesome.
But yeah, and so yeah, Nikki's diapers has a lot of different ones. Honestly, that was the one I like best. They usually have a lot of information on there too about their diapers, rather than if you're just like going to Amazon, you know what I mean? They don't really have info on it. Nora's Nursery, I know, you know, people like that one. I used Best Bottoms for the all-in-two diapers, the snap-in inserts. Those are ones you can get on Nikki's diapers. Some people really like Charlie Banana too. I like Charlie Banana, their cloth wipes, on top of like the resale value being high for those other types of diapers of like all-in-ones and stuff. For the pre-folds, I like, instead of just, or the flats, like reselling them, they make really good burp cloths, or just like little, you know, if baby's eating and you need a little mat or something, or rags, they make like really good rags. So do the cloth diaper wipes, the cloth wipes. They also make like really good makeup remover. Okay,
And I
well,
use it actually after I mean, I use it now because I barely use it for Bjorn. I use it when I pee and I just wash it and to wipe my mouth. Yeah, so I have reusable napkins and toilet paper now.
Yeah, that was my point exactly. Like, not only is it a sustainable way to, you know, diaper, but it goes beyond diapering too. If you're planning on having more kids, then after especially that first year, the savings like financially are just exponential, like purely exponential. So that's really cool. Or if you know, have like a sister or whatever, and you guys are kind of having kids at the same time, or around like the same time, like you have some, you can always, they can use it, they can give it back. Yeah, it's really fun.
And so you said you have a course.
I've been teaching it mostly in person here in Fort Collins, Colorado, but I'm going to make it online. I kind of realized the last class I had, there was 2 really fussy babies, and I felt it was like they felt bad that they were disturbing class, and I felt bad that they couldn't, like, you know, just leave because they really actually wanted them. I was like, you know what, I gotta get this online, like, so that people can just do this in the comfort of their home. They can pause it and take care of their baby if they need to. I haven't published that yet, but it's coming, so when it is, I will let you know. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. You can find Alexa Ericson at mamafreebirth.com.
Thank you so much for having me. If you have any cloth diaper questions, again, just let me know.